Episode 21, The Forgotten Pact. The days following their discovery of the sanctum felt heavy and filled with dread. Eli and Evelyn were haunted by the knowledge that there were likely more pieces of the heart, and that they were stirring. Neither could shake the feeling that they were only scratching the surface of a far darker history that bound Black Hollow and its inhabitants. One afternoon, Evelyn decided to dig deeper into Black Hollow's past. She pored over ancient records, journals, and folklore archived in the town's library, hoping to uncover clues about the sanctum and its origins. Every page seemed to hint at secrets buried beneath the town's quaint exterior, and the deeper she delved, the more she began to understand that the heart was part of a complex web of rituals, symbols, and sacrifices. One of the oldest records she found described a council of individuals who had lived in Black Hollow centuries ago. This council, known as the Keepers of Shadow, had formed a pact with an unknown force. Evelyn's blood ran cold as she read the fragmented accounts. These keepers were said to have been the protectors of Black Hollow, responsible for maintaining the balance between light and dark. And it was this pact that had first bound the heart to Black Hollow. That evening, Evelyn shared her findings with Eli. They sat together in the library's dim glow, surrounded by the worn pages of history. This pact, Evelyn said, a hint of fear in her voice. It wasn't just some ordinary agreement. It was a binding of souls, something to do with the town's survival. There's even a record that some of the keepers paid with their lives to keep the darkness at bay. Eli frowned, leaning over the journal. But if the keepers bound the heart, how did it end up resurfacing? Did the pact weaken over time? Evelyn shrugged, looking unsettled. It doesn't say. But there's something strange about the pact. It mentions that the heart wasn't the only piece, it was just the main vessel of this dark energy. The rest was hidden, spread across different sanctums, to keep the heart contained. Eli exhaled, the weight of their discovery pressing on him. If there are other sanctums, we need to find them before they can stir. We don't know if they're waking up, because of what we did, or if the Silent Circle somehow knew about all of this. Just as Evelyn was about to respond, a sudden bang echoed through the library. They turned, startled, as they saw a figure silhouetted against the pale moonlight streaming in through the window. It was Clara, her expression tense and her eyes shadowed with a weariness they hadn't seen before. "I knew you'd be here," she said softly, her voice low. "You've discovered the pact, haven't you?" Evelyn nodded, surprised to see Clara out so late. "We did. But there's so much we still don't understand. Why was the heart divided? And why are these pieces waking up now?" Clara's gaze shifted to the dusty journals, her face a mixture of sorrow and determination. The keepers divided the heart to protect Black Hollow. They knew the darkness couldn't be destroyed, so they contained it within multiple vessels, each hidden in a sanctum. But their pact wasn't just for protection, it was an agreement to share their souls, to ensure the heart would remain bound. Eli's eyes widened. "You mean, the keepers bound their souls to the heart?" Clara nodded gravely. "Yes. And that's why the pact was so dangerous. Each sanctum is linked to the soul of a keeper, who guards it even after death. When one of the sanctums is disturbed, it disrupts the balance, and the other pieces begin to stir. The Silent Circle knew this, they'd been searching for the sanctums, hoping to break the pact." Evelyn's heart raced. "So, they want to release all the pieces? To unseal the heart's full power?" Clara met her gaze, her eyes filled with a sorrow that bordered on fear. "The Silent Circle believes that if they can reunite the heart's pieces, they can harness its power for their own ends. But if they succeed, Black Hollow will be lost. The darkness will consume everything." A heavy silence fell over them as the weight of Clara's words sank in. The stakes were far higher than they had imagined. If they didn't stop the Silent Circle, the darkness bound within the heart would be unleashed, and Black Hollow would be forever tainted. Evelyn clenched her fists, her face resolute. "Then we have no choice. We need to find the sanctums before they do. If we can awaken the keeper's spirits, maybe they can help us protect the heart." Clara placed a trembling hand on Evelyn's shoulder. "It won't be easy. The keeper's souls have been dormant for centuries. Awaking them may bring its risks, but it's our only hope. I can help you, but I fear that once we start, there will be no turning back. Eli looked at Clara, his eyes filled with determination. We're in this together. If there's a chance to save Black Hollow, we'll do whatever it takes. With Clara's guidance, they set out to locate the sanctum. Their first clue led them to the old cemetery on the outskirts of town, where some of the keepers were rumored to be buried. The night was pitch black, and a dense fog clung to the ground, wrapping around the tombstones like ghostly fingers. The silence was oppressive, as though the air itself held its breath, waiting for something to stir. Clara led them to an ancient mausoleum, its stone walls cracked and worn with age. The entrance was sealed by an iron gate, but Clara produced a small silver key, her hand steady as she unlocked it. Inside, the walls were lined with symbols, each one faintly glowing as if stirred by their presence. This is one of the sanctums, Clara said, her voice barely above a whisper. And here lies one of the keepers, Elias Ward, the first to offer his soul to the Pact. Evelyn stepped forward, her gaze fixed on the stone coffin in the center of the room. She placed her hand on its cold surface, her heart pounding. How do we awaken him? Clara reached into her bag, pulling out a vial of silver liquid and a small, intricately carved dagger. The keeper's spirits can be summoned, but only through a blood offering. Just a drop will do. Evelyn hesitated, but the urgency of their mission pushed her forward. She took the dagger, pressing it lightly against her palm and letting a single drop of blood fall onto the stone. As it touched the surface, a faint glow spread across the coffin, and a low hum filled the chamber. Slowly, the air grew colder, and a translucent figure began to materialize above the coffin, a tall man with piercing eyes and an air of solemnity. He regarded them with a mixture of curiosity and caution. I am Elias Ward, he intoned, his voice echoing through the chamber. Who dares disturb my rest? Evelyn swallowed, meeting his gaze. We come seeking your help. The heart sanctums are being disturbed, and the silent circle is trying to break the pact. Black Hollow is in danger. Elias's expression darkened, his spectral form flickering with a faint, angry glow. The pact was meant to last forever. If it is broken, the darkness will reclaim this land. Eli stepped forward, his voice firm. Then help us. Show us how to protect the sanctums and stop the silent circle from releasing the heart. Elias studied them, his gaze penetrating as though searching their very souls. Finally, he nodded. Very well. If you are willing to bear the burden of the pact, I will guide you. But know this, the price of protecting Black Hollow is steep. You may have to give more than you are prepared to lose. Evelyn's heart pounded as she glanced at Eli, their shared determination unwavering. We'll do whatever it takes. Elias extended his hand, and they felt a surge of energy as his spirit merged with theirs, granting them knowledge of the Pact's ancient rites and the power to locate the remaining sanctums. But with this power came a weight, a shadow that seemed to cling to them, as though the darkness they were fighting was now a part of them. As they left the mausoleum, Evelyn felt a strange sense of foreboding. She knew that the path ahead would be fraught with danger, but she also knew that they were no longer fighting alone. The keeper's spirits were with them now, guiding them through the darkness, but she couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking a razor's edge, balancing between light and shadow. For now, they had one goal, to find the remaining sanctums before the silent circle did. But as they moved deeper into Black Hollow's past, they wondered what price they would ultimately pay to protect it, and whether, in the end, they would be able to escape the darkness themselves. End of episode 21.